Hey viewers, hey subscribers, and welcome back to my channel, Aquarian Empress Tarot. For those of you guys who are new to the channel, welcome. Okay, to my returning subscribers, welcome back, you guys. I hope you all had a great day today. It's Monday, the start of the week, so we all know how that goes. Tonight we're just gonna do a little girls chat before we get into readings. So anyone who would like a reading, please make sure you send your donation either via Super Chat, Cash App, PayPal, whatever the case may be, okay? But once you donate, make sure that you drop a green heart so that way I know that you're requesting a reading, okay? Because I don't know if you don't drop a heart, all right? Anywho, let me just get started. Tonight's topic is about being delusional, to stop being delusional, because I see it happen a lot. A lot of people come to us about readers, when I say us, tarot readers, about relationship issues. And a lot of the times, most of the people that come to me, in my experience, because I can't speak on behalf of other people, but a lot of times people are in delusion about what's really going on. People are afraid of setting boundaries, afraid of walking away from a situation that's not serving them. They see it, they choose not to see it, and that's the delusion. That's the delusion. When you choose not to see the flags, the red flags that are right there in front of you, that's the delusion. And that's what keeps people stuck in toxic and karmic cycles, as we refer to it in the spiritual community. Karmic cycles is because you keep lowering your vibration to someone else's vibration who's already low. Okay? If I'm around you and you are in great spirits, great energy, positive thoughts, positive words, positive reinforcement, then you're going to help raise my vibration. If I'm around you and the opposite is happening, then you're going to lower my vibration. So when you have two people who are in two different vibrational frequencies, it disrupts the peace of the other. And that's what people fail to realize. If this person has told you, because I've had some of these, and no judgment zone here, because I've been stuck, trust me, I'm guilty of being stuck on stupid. But at some point, as an adult, as a grown man or woman, you have to take accountability and responsibility for the role that you played in those situations. Especially when somebody tells you, I'm not looking for this. And you think, or I think, that I can change this person's mind. This person is an adult. What makes you think, well, he ain't never had nobody like me? That's beside the point. If he flat out told you he's not looking for a relationship, then you better believe what he's telling you. Because you're only going to hurt your own feelings in the long run. You're only going to get yourself hurt in the long run because you think that whatever abilities you have is going to change his mind. It's not going to change his mind. Hey, Aisha, you can't change a grown person. So if they say, I'm not looking for a relationship, that's something that's important. That's a red flag to look out for. That's something to say, okay, you know what? I am looking for a relationship. He's not. Or vice versa. I'm looking for a relationship. She's not. So do I want to continue this? At that point, you have a choice. You have a choice to ignore the red flag. You see what I'm saying about delusion? You have a choice to either ignore it or accept the situation for what it is, accept that this person has told you what they're not going to do, regardless of whether you want it or not, and move on with your life. Or you have the choice to stay there, keep entertaining the foolery, and keep playing these mind games back and forth. Well, 1 minute they're in, 1 minute they're out. 1 minute they're hot, next minute they're cold. Who has time for that? If you're over the age of 30, you do not have time for that. I would even possibly say 25. You just don't have the time for it. So until you decide, y'all please let me know. Let me know in the chat. Have you ever been in that state of mind where you were delusional? Because I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it, of somebody clearly telling me they don't want this. And I'm thinking, he'll change his mind. He'll change his mind. No, he's not changing his mind. He said what he said and he is sticking to it. He's sticking to it. So for you to think that it's going to be different, you know what I'm saying? Like, You got to take into consideration what this person has told you and believe what they show you. A lot of times, people may not even verbally tell you, but here's another thing, because a lot of women, especially when you get your emotions all involved, oh, but I love him, we've known each other since high school. Let me say this. Time does not matter. Just because you've known somebody your whole life, or you grew up together, you went to college together, y'all shared a dorm room together, that does not matter. That does not, I'm sorry to break it to you, but it doesn't matter. If somebody is showing you this is what they're about, you best believe that's what they're about. They're not playing they're not playing with you. They're serious. This is their lifestyle. This is what they do. This is how they carry themselves, or the lack thereof, right? And that's the thing about, being delusional, is choosing not to see what's right in front of you. It's right in front of you, and you choose to act like you don't see that this person only calls you when it's convenient for them. This person only comes around you when it's convenient for them. As a matter of fact, you probably do more initiating contact than they do. Those are red flags. Because especially for men, if a man is interested in you, he's going to make it known. He's going to make an effort. He's going to be consistent. He's been hot or cold. Him being hot or cold is a red flag for you to walk away from that situation. So then that leaves you saying, okay, I need to walk away from the situation, but giving yourself an excuse now, but I've been talking to this person for 6 months. I hate that I wasted my time, or a year or 2 years. I don't want to waste my time. It's not about wasting time. It's about protecting your peace. Protecting your peace, protecting your energy. That should be of utmost, your mental health should be of utmost importance to you. To continue wasting breath and begging someone to treat you the way that you deserve to be treated, or the way that you want to be treated, is foolishness. It's foolishness. To expect them to do something that they're clearly not willing to do, and you keep sticking around. And you think your version of withdrawing your energy is not reaching out to them. But when they reach out to you, you answer. You're still entertaining the foolery. We can sit here and think of all the excuses the excuses for not setting boundaries that you should have set in the first place. Start believing people the first time they show you, not 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times later. Well, he's done this like 10 different times, where he'll go missing for days at a time, and then he'll come back around. He comes back around because you allow him to come back around. Shut that shit down. As soon as it happens, shut it down. They need to know that you stand your ground. They need to know that you have some backbone about you. They need to know that you're not to be played with. You're leaving. You're not sticking around. You're not playing this back and forth game. Because the longer you're in the game, the longer you're going to keep being played with. So, when it comes to being delusional about you have to be realistic also about what it is you want. You can't expect somebody to give you something they don't have. It's like you asking somebody who barely makes minimum wage to place you in a condo. Make it make sense, right? How can they provide that for you when they're barely making minimum wage? Do you see? It has to add up. Your expectations have to add up. They have to be realistic. You know what I'm saying? And then you've got picky folks, people who are picky about every little thing that this person does. Go ahead and tell yourself right now that the best partner for you, hey, Love Squad, exactly, you get what you allow. The best partner for you on the whole globe is still going to have faults. They're still going to have weaknesses. They're still going to have moments of inconsideration or selfishness, because at our core, our human core, we have both light and dark aspects of self. Exactly, Aisha. So nitpicking with someone about every single little thing about their personality is foolish. And then you expect to have peace in that connection. It's not going to happen, because the person is not perfect, just like you're not perfect. Like in religion or in church, for those of y'all who grew up in the church, you know the saying, do unto others as you have them do unto you. And that's true. That's very true. Because how can you expect him to treat you a certain way, but you're not giving that out? You get what you put out, like Love Squad said. You get what you put out. So if you're always complaining about stuff, or you're always in a negative energy towards stuff, then what do you expect is going to be given back to you? Do you think it's going to be peaceful? Do you think it's going to be pleasant? Do you think he's going to want to be around? Nobody wants to be around a nagging and complaining person. Nobody wants to be, nothing is ever, you know what I mean? Exactly, Aisha. Great analogy. You can't expect something that you're not putting out. You can't expect to be, if you're not putting out love, peace, joy, you're toxic. You have so many trust issues. You want to go through his stuff, check his car, give me your phone. I want to see who you talking to on the phone, going through his stuff because you have all this stuff that you have not worked out. And you get into the relationship with this person, you're going to push them away because you haven't worked on yourself yet. You haven't worked on your own insecurities, your own trust issues, or I can do it all by myself. So what are you in a relationship for? Because it's a partnership. If you can do it all by yourself, since you're so independent, then what do you want the other party for? Why are they there? Are they not there to love and support you? Where it's needed, you have to allow room for that person to help support you. But if you've got it all by yourself, the moment that you need them, they're gonna be like, bye. I tried to be there for you. I tried to be that support system. Every time you've got something going on, you tell me, I don't need nobody to do nothing for me. I got it. Okay, so you got it, right? Don't come calling me. So that's the thing, like with being delusional, you have to be realistic about things. You have to, what you put out is what you're going to get back. And you have to consider that when you're dealing with other people. You know what I mean? So we had to have that conversation. That stems from Sunday night, Sunday morning, actually, when I was live and we were talking about pity parties and whatnot. You know, nobody really is going to feel sorry for you when you put yourself in a situation. You put yourself in a situation to be played. You put yourself in a situation, exactly, Love Squad, exactly. You put yourself in a situation to fail because you're putting out that negativity. And when you don't set boundaries, people will make excuses for anything that they don't want to do. It's always an excuse. Instead of just saying, block, delete this person, well, I'm just going to wait and see. What is there to see? You've seen nothing but a shit show. What else is left to see? This person doesn't return your calls. They ignore your text messages because they don't want to talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. What are you waiting around for? There's nothing. You've seen all you needed to see. You've seen all you needed to see. So there's no sense in waiting around to see if he comes back around or if he reaches out or if he's going to communicate. Let it go. Let it go. Or hopping from tarot reader to tarot reader to figure out how this person's energy has shifted or their mindset is shifted. It hasn't shifted. Just because you get a few little glimpses here of good behavior, I can even call it good behavior, but y'all know what I'm saying. Just because one day he randomly decides to call you up out of the blue, it's been days or weeks, and says, hey, what kind of stuff is that? Is that what you're accepting for yourself? Is that what you truly think you deserve? That's what I want you guys to ask yourselves. Those who struggle with the issue of setting boundaries and saying no and cutting people off. That's one thing I am so glad that I don't have a problem with, detachment, because you need it. When you can't detach from something, it can become a horrible obsession. You constantly ruminate over this person or this situation in your mind. Anything you think about too much, you give too much energy, that's exactly where your energy is going to go. You can't get anything done. You're distracted at work, distracted with the kids, distracted while you're driving because all you're thinking about is what's going on with so-and-so. Where is he at? Who is he with? I wonder if he's seeing somebody else. I saw that woman I saw him talking to this girl down the street the other day. You see what I'm saying? It's like, at some point, you have to learn to detach. Give people the space to choose you if they so choose to. Life is all about choices. Just like we talked about with pity parties Sunday, you can choose to stay miserable, you can choose to stay stuck, or you can choose to move forward. It's a personal decision. Let that person have the free will that we always talk about in tarot and in the spiritual community. It's free will. It's free will. Let them have the choice to say, you know what, I choose you. Just like you made the choice to choose them, make sure that who you're choosing is choosing you. Because if they ain't, they gotta go. That's where detachment comes in such great handy, because if they're not choosing you the way you're choosing them, then you can just go ahead and let them go. Because you can see where their priorities are. Like I said, anything that you think about more, or you put more energy into, it shows. It shows. Actions speak louder than words. So keep that in mind. Also, anybody new to the channel, welcome. Hey, good evening. Happy Monday. Anybody wanting a reading, please let me know. Donations are $10 minimum. You can send a donation via Super Chat, Cash App, or PayPal. I will post the links down below so you can have it. But I felt it was important to address the delusion because it's so popular. It's so common, especially in the tarot community. A lot of people come to readers and they're expecting you to tell them what they want to hear. And that's not how spirit works. It's not how spirit works. Spirit's going to show you exactly what you need to see, whether you like it or not. And to think that you're going to get a different answer, no ma'am, no sir, it's not going to happen. Let's see. Hang on. Scan. But we were also talking about, I was talking to a dear friend earlier today, and we were talking about how just like women need reassurance, men need reassurance too. They want to make sure that you actually are with them for the right reasons. They want to make sure that you're actually interested in them as a person, not just there because you're getting something from them, just getting something from the relationship. I know a lot of times women are like concerned about being used used and abused, that term. But keep that in mind. Men are people too. They have emotions. They have goals. They have desires. So keep that in mind when you're dealing with your person. Like, well, what are his goals? You know what I mean? Like, he may say things that sound insecure. That's your cue to step in and reassure them. Reassure them that you're committed to the relationship. Reassure them that you are in love with them. Reassure them that you do love them and you do care about them. They need that reassurance just as much as we do. And I think women, sometimes we forget that. And we'll be quick to write it off. Girl, you had it all copied. Look at you. But yeah, we sometimes think, oh, well, he's just being insecure. No, he's not being insecure. He's wanting you to reassure him that your love is genuine. He's wanting you to reassure him that you're trustworthy in the relationship. It's not always somebody being insecure. They just want to be sure and know where things are headed, and just like you would, you want to make sure that you're not wasting your time. They want to make sure they're not wasting their time, because, as much as society makes men out to be like cold, direct, you know what I'm saying? If, like men just don't really show much emotion, they're actually very sensitive people. And so they want to make sure they're being loved just as much as they give you love. And a lot of times men actually love very hard, especially once they know that you're the woman for them. They love very hard. So they want to make sure that they're not investing in a woman who is just going to turn around and throw that in their face. You know what I'm saying? So those are just things to think about. Let me, y'all, I'm going to give y'all the definition of delusion. Let's see. Delusion. Belief or impression that is firmly maintained despite being contradicted by what is generally accepted as reality or rational argument, typically a symptom of mental disorder. It said what it said. But being delusional, you're not thinking rationally. It's like we had talked about a couple of days ago, where I had people coming to me asking me about some person who was involved with somebody else, or, you know, it's a married man. How in the world do you think that's how do you think that's going to work out for you? That's bad karma written all over it. I know he's married, but you know what I'm saying? I still want to try this. Tell me why. Tell me why. I still want to see where it goes. I still want to see if he plans on choosing me. Choosing you over his wife of 10, 15, 20 years? Are you serious? Now, I'm not justifying his actions, but I'm just saying, like, why would you even consider someone like that? Because rational thinking, if that's how you got him, that's how you're going to lose him. Because he knew fully, intentionally what he was doing. Exactly. Exactly, Love Squad. Exactly. Yeah, thinking you can change a grown man, and that's not, that hasn't worked in a long time. It doesn't work. Ricky, hang on, y'all. Rick, come here. Stay out of trouble. I'm sorry, y'all. He don't act right sometimes. But yep, you're exactly right. Thinking you can change a grown man, and that you can't even change a grown woman. Women are very independent, very self-sufficient. Women are be like, you know, you try to tell them something, case in point. You know, they book a reading or they book a session, and you give them the advice from spirit. Well, I think I'm just going to consider this and compare it to my own intuition. Okay, but your own intuition has been guiding you down a hellhole, a rabbit hole of cat and mouse with the same person for however many years this has been going on. Well, I'm going to consider it. I know what I need. Okay, great. Stop coming to me. I'm going to stop providing you with the advice because you obviously don't apply it. What, and I've said this before and I will continue to say it, what purpose does it do for you to take a course, to take a class, to go and get an x-ray, if you're not going to apply the information that's been given to you? It's a waste of time, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of energy. And so, you know, you think that you have an alternative way of doing things. How has that been working out for you? That's always my question. How has that been working out for you? Where has that gotten you? Are you happily ever after with your person now? Most cases is a no. It's a flat out no. But people think, oh, well, I'm just going to take what I want to hear and run with it and see what that does for me. It's not, and people do the same thing with other things. They take bits and pieces of information and they run with it. It's like, this is the recipe to make a cake. It requires eggs, sugar, flour, vanilla flavoring, butter, right? A little salt. This is the recipe. You decide, I'm not going to use the eggs because the eggs don't resonate for me. I don't really like the eggs, so I'm not going to put the eggs in there. That's what it calls for. That's what it calls for. So if it's not as moist as it's, you know, as it typically would be, it's because you didn't put the eggs in there. And then come back and complain about, well, this isn't working out. He's not, okay, because you didn't follow the recipe. Who is there to be mad at now? That's where the delusional thinking comes in. He told you he didn't want a relationship and you kept chasing him. Now he's ghosted you. So now you're asking about whether he's going to reach out to you. He's not. He already told you what he was on. You see what I'm saying? Just weird stuff. Even the thought of, well, I'm not going to set boundaries with this person because then they're going to think I'm giving in to them. That is a delusion that you tell yourself to keep from setting boundaries, because you're so used to not having any. You're so used to allowing people to walk all over you. So you leave an open door for them to play games with you instead of setting the boundary that you should have set in the first place and cutting it off. Right, Aisha? That's the thing. You can't. But a lot of people think that. It's, well, I know I should have told him I'm not dealing with this anymore, but it's always the but. But I think I'm just gonna wait around. You've been doing that for 5 years. How much longer do you gotta wait around? I'm just saying. Well, he might reach out to me and talk about the weather and talk about his dog and talk about sports, but he never talks about the relationship. Ding, 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 ding. That's a red flag. He literally has already told you his mind is not on that. His mind is on making his money. His mind is on getting his place together. Whatever it is that his mind is on is not on you. And you keep trying to force a situation to work. And I think I said this Sunday too. You cannot force a person to do anything they don't want to do. You can't do it. They're going to quit. They're going to walk out. They're going to, whatever it is. You cannot force anyone to do anything. Free will, which that's a whole nother topic in and of itself, because look at the way the country is going with mandates and whatnot. You can't force people. Hey, Valerie. Hey, love. How are you? You can't force people to do anything and think it's going to go well. Look at the country. Look at the country. Okay? So, yeah, like, being delusional and being irrational about a situation only makes things worse for you. You got to be realistic. You got to be honest with yourself. What have I allowed? And that's the question that I had to really sit with myself, and this is part of the shadow work, and ask myself when I went through some challenging relationships with people, what is it about me that keeps dealing with these types of people? Me? My fear of being alone. That's a problem that a lot of women don't like to address. It's okay for you to be single. You don't need somebody else in your life. You really don't. The only people that you actually really need would probably be your parents, because your parents have been there since day one. They will most parents will always be there for you in a time of emergency, crisis, anything. Your parents are going to come running. You have grown ass men and women who you need in an emergency, and they're not going to show up. Hey, divine love. They're not going to show up. But I can almost guarantee you 99.9% that if you call your mom, she's going to be the first person to pick up the phone. Or you call your dad, if you have a relationship with him like that, he's going to be, hey, baby, what you need? Dad, I'm stuck on the side of the road. Can you come get me? I'll be there in a few minutes. Yep. Your mom and your dad is going to be there. All these other relationships, you really don't need them. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to be single. It is okay to take time out for you. To have a selfish season where you're taking care of you, where you're saving up your money, where you're pursuing your goals, finishing school, not being distracted. Because relationships, let me just break out the news. Relationships are very distractive. Relationships are distracting. They take your mind off of other things that you have going on. For people who are extremely codependent, they push everybody else out, and all their focus is on this person. That's why you have to have balance. If you can't balance that out, then you probably shouldn't be with anybody in the first place, because you have your family, you have siblings, you have your parents, you have best friends. I'm not going to stop talking to my best friend because I've gotten in a relationship with Steven. You see what I'm saying? Steven, he's the last person to come in. You go, guess who I'm putting first? Exactly, Love Squad. I'm glad that you brought that word up. Thank you. I'm so glad you brought that word up. I'm going to pin your comment. Um, it gives off signs of desperation when you are so obsessed with somebody to the point of where you can't let go of them, where you can't just block them and delete them and cut them off. It gives signals of desperation. And when you give out signals of desperation, guess what you're going to attract? Trash. You're going to attract trash. When you give out desperate energy, it's going to come back to you in the form of fuckboys, players, people who are not serious, non-committal situations, because you're giving off desperation. I just got to have somebody. Girl, where you going out tonight? Girl, I'm finna go see if I can find me a man. Why is that top priority? Why is that top priority? Why not call your mom and see if she needs anything? Why not check on your sister and see how she's doing with the baby she just had? Why not go and take the kids to the park or take them out to do something fun with the children? Your main concern is about being with the man. Exactly, Divine. It's okay to be single. It's okay to focus on other things outside of a romantic relationship. Honestly, I feel like the most nurturing relationships in my life have been everything outside of romantic relationships. My connection with my aunts, my connection with my sisters, we're very close. My connection with my mom, my connection with my best friends. Like, those relationships are so important to me. Do I want a romantic partner to be there with me through thick and thin? Absolutely. Most women do. But it's not when that person comes in, I'm going to push all of these other people who have been here for me my whole life out of the way because I'm more focused on this person here. I'm sorry. It don't work that way for me. Now, other people, you won't hear from them again because they're consumed with what they've got going on with this person. And you can tell as soon as, exactly, Love Squad, you can tell as soon as shit hits the fan in that relationship, because they just crumble. They fall to pieces. You know why? Because they didn't nurture the other relationships that they have with other people that are important. And you know what's funny? When we pass this earth and we transition, people remember those relationships that you had with them. Exactly, Divine. Exactly. That's one of the best ways to attract what you want, is to set it in motion. When it comes to manifesting, it really is. It's to set it and forget it, is what I like to call it, because you're not focused on it. Anything that you don't give so much attention to, it's like you automatically become a magnet for it. You automatically become a magnet for it because you're not so obsessed with it. It's even with money, people's relationships with money. You can tell lack mentality. Like you said, the desperation. Desperation is a lack mentality. And lack mentality will always keep you in crappy situations with people because you feel like you don't deserve the best. You settle. Exactly, Valerie. You settle for what's there. And this is what I always say, my comparison for settling. Honey, if we go to a restaurant, that's a great one, Divine. That is a great way to put it. A watch pot won't boil. What was I saying? I had Oh, settling. Yes. A great comparison for settling for me is like if we go out, right? Let's say we go to the Mexican restaurant and they don't have the type of margarita that I want. I'm not going to just settle for whatever margarita's on the menu. I just won't get a margarita. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to just settle for anything just because I got to have a margarita. I just won't have a margarita. I may take a lemonade. I may take a water, but I'm not going to settle for something that I don't care for. Do you see what I'm saying? So why settle in a romantic aspect of your life? You don't settle. If this store doesn't have a product that you're looking for, you're not going to just settle for anything that you may end up wasting money on. You're going to be like, no, I'll wait until it gets back in stock. Or I'll go to a different store, the store that carries what it is that I need. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between settling and improvising, because improvising is making do with what you have. Settling is saying, well, I accept this. This is less than. Exactly. This is less than acceptable for me, but I'm okay with it. I'm tolerating it. No, we don't do that over here. Mm-mm. So just keep that in mind. You know what I mean? You don't want to settle. You also don't want to give off the vibes of desperation. Anytime you're desperate for something, you end up getting played. That's just like with a job. They can tell you anything if you come to them and you're just so like, I just need a job right now. I just need a job right now. They can have you scrubbing toilets for $10 an hour because you're just so desperate to have something. When you could be making $16 an hour as a receptionist at the front desk. But because you were so desperate, you would take anything they would give you. You didn't even ask about any other positions or any other openings. You see what I'm saying? So you just end up settling for what's put before you. You end up settling out of desperation, out of fear. Like Love Squad said, out of fear if I don't hurry up and get a job now, I might not get one. Do you know how many thousands of businesses are hiring? And you're so worried about not finding one, which is why I always find it funny that people are like, I haven't found a job in 2 years. Tell me how and why. When people come to me like that in interviews, I'm a little bit leery because I'm like, how is that possible? You haven't worked in 2 years. Tell me why. See, now I want to know because there's too many options. That's just like with people. There are too many people on this earth for you to settle for somebody who's less than your standard, who's less than what it is that you require to feel loved and supported. There's too many people for you to settle for just anything. Right? Don't settle. Don't settle and don't be in delusion about what's really going on in a situation. Know your worth and know that you deserve to be respected. You deserve communication. You deserve intimacy. You deserve to be provided for, protected, cared for, all of those things. You deserve all of it. And if someone's not willing to give it to you, goodbye. Right? Goodbye. Goodbye. Y'all gotta find a t-shirt vendor for that because that was my goal, to make goodbye shirts. Goodbye. We are blocking and deleting people who will not hold themselves accountable. Yeah. Exactly. Fear is, I'm telling you, fear is, it's one of those things that will keep people stuck. Yes. And that's one of the reasons why shadow work is so important, for you to really within yourself and figure out why. Why do you always feel like you have to hop from person to person? Why do you always feel like you have to be trying to get into a relationship with somebody, or dating somebody, or talking to somebody, or seeing somebody? Why do you got to have all these bodies around you? Why can't you just be alone, quiet, be still? Go sit down somewhere, like my grandma used to tell us as kids. Go sit down somewhere and be quiet. All of this about this person, or trying to go see this person, or being involved with people who are involved with people. Well, he's still in a relationship with her, or he just got out of a bad relationship with this one. He's got this one pregnant over here. All of this stuff. You see what I'm saying? All this stuff going, it's messy. Are you serious? Wow. Wow. I did not see that, Divine. That's really disturbing. That's extremely disturbing. China is doing a lot of crazy things. They're doing a lot of crazy things. And they're trying to get the United States to accompany them in the process. It's almost like what is it? We have TikTok that's owned by China. Facebook, the metaverse, is owned by China. Supposedly COVID came from China. Supposedly China's the one that started making vaccines. It's just, you know, Um, mm-hmm. Yeah. What else? Yeah, China is like, I feel like China is infiltrating the United States. That's what I'm picking up from the news. I feel like they're infiltrating the United States. They're like weaving their web into the United States. China, China, it is scary. It is scary because you can't, tampering with nature is a problem. Tampering with nature is a problem. What that's like saying there's two earths. There's two earths. Do you see what I'm saying? That's a no. Delete. Yeah. That's a no. But it's just like China and the United States all of a sudden are like, you know, they're dealing with us now. First it was the opposite. Now they're dealing with us. And the United States is indebted to China. China has AI in a lot of their places. They have robots running things in a lot of their places. They're the ones that even came up with AI in the first place. A lot of things are digital in China. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, wow, what is going on here? What is really, it just makes you question a lot of things. What's really going on here? It just makes you wonder, like, why? Why is all of this technology necessary? Why do you need another sun? To make it make sense. Why do you need another sun? Why is that important? What do you plan on doing with it? It's just, yeah. But yeah. Desperation. Desperation. Desperation, delusion, lying to yourself about things. It's just, you know, it's not gonna make you have a better relationship. It's not gonna make you, it's not gonna pan out for you in the long run. It's not gonna pan out for you in the long run. Preserving it or possibly making another one. Who knows? With all the technology, who knows? Maybe they have other plans. They constantly send people out to other planets. So, I mean, you know. It's just crazy. It's crazy how technology has been so far advanced to the point where they feel it's necessary to have a second son. They feel it's necessary to have robots delivering pizza. They feel it's necessary to have digital currency. It's just weird to me how things were fine. Things were working, you know. And then there's that. There's that. You said there are more than two earths, Divine. I believe it. I believe it. Exactly. Exactly. At some point, something has to give. Mankind can only go so far with what they do. They can only go so far with what they do. There's a limit to how far technology can go. It's only a matter of time before it backfires. It's funny though, because you always get a sales pitch with everything. Oh, how great this is. We made this. We invented this. We invented electricity. We invented cars. We invented this. We invented that. And then before you know it, people are getting sick. People can't, some people are without jobs. It creates more problems in the long run, is what it is. Creates more problems in the long run. But I agree with you, Divine. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. We're making good time. I'm gonna hop off of here, and I'm going to do the tarot class from last week. I'm gonna do the tarot class, and then I'm gonna do Libra, Scorpio, and hope maybe Sagittarius. We'll see how that goes. But thank you guys so much for hopping into the live stream. I hope that the information in this live stream was helpful to someone watching. To know that you're supported. You have people that love you around you. You're surrounded by love. You don't necessarily need validation from a romantic partner. You don't need a validation by being in a relationship with someone. It's perfectly okay to be single. You don't have to stress over finding someone. You know what I mean? You can be alone and you can still be happy and surrounded by love. So, good night, everyone. Much love to y'all. And until the next live stream, good night.